got all this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, going on in this lovely little town, what you call the Whiskey Rebellion here in Washington, D.A. People who love to get out of the house in the summer and go do something that doesn't require the beach, doesn't require a lot of water. Probably know about this Whiskey Rebellion going on here in Washington. They're coming here from Pittsburgh, and they're probably even coming down from, other places. They're probably coming from far. Everybody's making business today. Even the Washington Hotel, which is a very expensive hotel, is making business today. And I appreciate that. I like to be in a town where there's something going on. You know what I mean? I hate dead towns where they don't do anything. You know what I mean? And I really appreciate that. We got stuff going on, and in this town, we got a lot of people who, even though the town has declined over the years, a little bit. It was never a big town full of everything. It's always been a nice little pro-white, I don't have a problem with that, pro-white town with a lot going on. And for a little town, for a small town, it ain't a super small town, but it is a small town. And for a small town, it has a lot going on. And so, there you have it. And what I want to say about that is, success buys success. Okay? Success buys success. I hate to live a life to where I never get out of the house and do anything because I never have money. Okay? Now, if I was living in Washington, which I am living in Washington, but if I was actually living in Washington as a, resident of Washington and not of the residency that I'm in Washington, I would probably at least come down here and get something to eat if nothing else. I'm not really interested in the whiskey, and it's going to get loud because it's busy out here today. There's cars parked everywhere for free. Now, if this was going on in Pittsburgh would be making a fortune charging you all for parking. But because this is a town that doesn't have any parking garages, there's a lot of parking lots that, all the parking lots out here to all the businesses, especially being a day Saturday, they're all allowing, full parking. Now, some places you have to pay to park on the street, but most places you don't. So, that's one thing beautiful about this town. You wanted a rebellion, brother? Oh, no? Yeah. No whiskey for you, huh?
Nah, no, sir.
Me either, man. But, yeah. I love that about this town, but I love even more so that God has blessed me to be here. And when I got here, I realized that God blessed me to be here. He knew I was going to be here. He predestined me to be here because of His grace and His mercy. Because I could have been spending the nights, all my nights, downtown Pittsburgh in front of the old shut down Port Authority building, fighting over a spot to lay my head with a blanket I got out of the garbage can or something. God has been good to me. God wanted to put me in a place to where I would be away from the riffraff of Allegheny County, for one thing, and He wanted me to be in a place to where, there's a little bit of Jesus going on at least, and He wanted me to be in a place where that was more of a sophisticated network, of a calm, collective network, to where, it's not so much riffraff and craziness, because it's crazy when you lose everything like I did. It can be crazy for what happens next. But it's a beautiful day out here, a little humid, and I think it's in the 70s today. I'm not sure. I think it was hotter earlier. I'm not sure. But beautiful day right now. Close to 7 o'clock. I think it's a little bit after 6. But beautiful, 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 beautiful. And I like, when things can get busy without getting crazy. And that's what's going on right here. Busy without getting crazy. And people can park their cars and they can walk around the neighborhood, get to learn what the neighborhood is all about around here. And everybody's making money out here today, because people ain't just coming by and just going to get it. But, being the town is in a box, people can go and hit two birds with one stone. Okay, why wouldn't you? They're going around to see what's open. They're going around to see, some people have been here. Some people lived here years ago, and they left because of business reasons, because the town was declining a little bit. So they left. They come back to the Rebellion, because the Rebellion Festival was every single year at this time. So they come back to see what opened and what else closed, and are we declining worse? Are we staying the same? Are we getting better? What are we doing? And they're here, and they come down here to the Bradford House and all the buildings, programs related to the Bradford House, which I went and checked it out, and they had the park open that goes to Bradford House open today. I've never seen that place open. I walked in because I thought it was open for the Rebellion. They actually closed it after they set up in there. And I walked out of there. I went in there and I asked the guy, is this part of the Bradford House? And he was like, yeah, I'm setting up in there. And I'm like, oh, I guess I walked in. The only reason why they had the gate open was because he was setting up. I didn't know that. But I'm glad I walked in. I got to take pictures, which I think they have certain hours a week where you can walk in and take pictures. But it wasn't today. I went in there and took pictures today. Praise God. But God bless it. But, it's a good thing to when you got money and you live in a good neighborhood. And it's a good thing when you got money and you can choose where you want to live, and you can choose what you want to do with your money and all like that. But if you keep on quitting your job, if you keep on being, having a lack of ambition, that's one of my bunkmates. I was trying to see where he's headed to, but he's doing the same thing I do. If it's nice out here, take a walk around town. We live here now. It's our town. Walk around. see what's going on. A lot of the guys are afraid because they're AA, NA, and they don't want to be around the whiskey rebellion because it would tempt them to you know, some people are tempted like that. They're tempted to buy whiskey and they know they can't do that. It would be a mess, but it's not like you're going to the bar scene and buying whiskey. You're buying whiskey to take home with you. They're very, very strong against drunk driving out here. So nobody's going to give you an open glass of whiskey. It'll give you whiskey to take home with you. You ain't supposed to drink it out here. But I just love it. I just love what God is doing in my life right now. And yesterday when I made my last video, most recent video I should say, I'm not saying that, you know, if you end up homeless, it's always your fault. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, though, always be prepared not to end up homeless. Like, don't quit your job, okay, and end up homeless. Don't do something without thinking about the consequences that might. If there's a single might, you might want to squash that might. Don't let there be a might. Oh, well, I might, you know, this might not work out. Or I might have to take the car back and can't use it. Or I might, you know, have to get a second job. Or I might have to do this. I might have to do that. Don't put yourself through that. There's no mights when you're trying to survive out here. But if you always know where you're headed, if you're always on top of your game, you ain't got to worry about what's going to happen next because you got that covered. Like I said, if you're in a business, you got 4 accounts. If you're not in a business, you got 3 accounts. You have your account for your rents and your insurance and all your installments, okay? And then, you know, you want to separate your rent money from your other bill money. Because, like I said yesterday, you can survive anything if you can keep your home. You can keep your home, you can survive anything else. But if you lose your home, you lose everything. If you didn't lose your home, you didn't lose everything. But if you can keep your home, you can get everything back. But if you lose your home, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't want to put yourself in that situation. So you have your home front account. That's a separate account for me anyway. Then you have your spending, then you have your cost of living account, which is for all your other bills like your phone bill, your, you know, your regular car insurance and stuff like that. And then you have your spending account, which again, you need to build that account up. Don't just put money in there on Monday and then spend it on Saturday. You know what I'm saying? No. Put money in there and watch it grow. That way you can do something like this. Come here and blow $100 easily at the Whiskey Rebellion. Not that you're here for whiskey, but that you're here to take your girl out or your wife out and do something nice for her and for yourself and have a good time. Enjoy the drive, the long drive back, or enjoy the hotel or whatever. I don't advise you, if you're not married, to enjoy the hotel. But if you're married, enjoy the hotel. Enjoy the long drive back home after the rebellion is over. And have a great time. Because why? You're a good steward of your finances. You got your money together. God bless these white people that know how to do that. A lot of people like myself, and I'm not putting my people down, we just weren't raised up to know how to do it. You know what I mean? But see, I take notes. I take notes from everybody, not just my people, not just these people, but I take notes from everybody. That's my time. God bless you. I will see you soon with more. In Jesus' name, God bless.